Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire. Today we are diving into one of the most shocking and mysterious modern coin stories ever discussed among collectors, treasure hunters, and people searching through pocket change hoping to discover a hidden fortune, because the 2003 P5 USA coin, also known as the Jefferson Nickels struck at the Philadelphia Mint, has become surrounded by rumors, excitement, and unbelievable claims that certain rare error examples could be worth as much as $121 million under extraordinary circumstances, and while most ordinary nickels from 2003 are only worth face value, the possibility of discovering a rare minting mistake has turned this coin into a legend among collectors across the country, especially when strange minting defects combine together on one coin to create an ultra-rare specimen unlike anything seen before. And what makes this story even more fascinating is the fact that millions of people may have handled these nickels without realizing the hidden value that could exist in a single tiny detail, because rare errors can transform an ordinary 5-cent coin into a collector's dream overnight, and experts always remind collectors that rarity, condition, historical importance, and dramatic minting mistakes are the ingredients that can push a coin into unbelievable price territory, especially when the coin becomes unique enough to attract wealthy private collectors willing to compete in auctions for ownership of a one-of-a-kind treasure. And the 2003 P nickel has gained attention because there are many possible errors and unusual varieties that collectors constantly search for, including off-center strikes, double die errors, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, missing clad layers, wrong planchet strikes, misaligned dies, rotated dies, and dramatic strike-through errors where foreign material interfered during the minting process and permanently changed the appearance of the coin, creating a mistake impossible to repeat exactly the same way again, and collectors know that the more dramatic and visually shocking the error becomes, the more valuable the coin may be in the eyes of elite buyers who want the rarest examples ever discovered, especially if the coin remains in near-perfect mint state condition with strong luster and sharp details that survived for decades without wear. Because condition plays a massive role in determining whether a coin is simply collectible or potentially worth a life-changing amount of money. And one of the most talked about possibilities for the 2003 P nickel involves a major double die error where the design appears doubled due to a mistake during the creation of the die itself, causing letters, dates, and portraits to show visible duplication that can sometimes be seen with the naked eye, and when such an error is dramatic enough, collectors become obsessed with locating surviving examples, especially if only a few are known to exist, and another possibility involves the coin being struck on the wrong metal planchet intended for another denomination or foreign coin, because wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable mint mistakes in the hobby since they reveal a major production failure inside the minting facility, and if a 2003 P nickel were discovered struck on an unusual experimental alloy or a blank intended for another coin, experts believe such a discovery could become world famous overnight, especially if properly authenticated and graded by top professional grading services, because authentication is essential whenever massive values are discussed in the coin world, and many collectors dream about finding a nickel with multiple errors combined together, such as an off-center strike with a clipped planchet and a full double die effect appearing on both obverse and reverse sides. Because combinations of rare errors are much harder to find than single mistakes alone, and these extraordinary combinations can push a coin into legendary status, especially when the error is visually dramatic and instantly recognizable even to non-collectors, and one of the reasons rumors about huge values spread so quickly online is because modern collectors are fascinated by the idea that an ordinary pocket coin can suddenly become more valuable than luxury mansions, private jets, or famous paintings, creating excitement every time someone checks an old jar of change or forgotten coin roll hidden away for years. And many treasure hunters spend hours examining 2003 P nickels under magnification looking for unusual lettering, distorted edges, die breaks, missing details, or signs of overstrikes where one design appears struck over another, because the minting process involves enormous machinery operating at incredible speeds, and even a small malfunction can create bizarre results that escape into circulation before being discovered, and another possibility that increases the mystery surrounding this coin is the chance of prototype or experimental strikes accidentally leaving the mint, because collectors know that some of the most valuable coins in history became famous precisely because they were never intended for public release, and if a rare experimental 2003 P nickel surfaced with unusual composition, incorrect dies, or unauthorized design modifications. Wealthy collectors could battle aggressively to own it, especially if the coin proved to be unique, and uniqueness is often the most powerful factor in driving coin prices to unbelievable levels, because when only one example exists, collectors with unlimited money may compete endlessly for ownership, pushing auction records into astonishing territory, and the story becomes even more exciting when considering the role of mint state grading. Since coins graded at the very top of the scale by professional services often multiply in value dramatically compared to lower grade examples, meaning a perfectly preserved 2003 P error nickel could become far more desirable than worn examples found in circulation, especially if the surfaces remain clean, brilliant, and free from scratches or discoloration, and collectors also search for full-step varieties on Jefferson Nickels, where the steps of Monticello on the reverse appear completely visible and sharply struck. Because strong strike quality combined with rare errors creates even greater desirability among advanced collectors, and over the years stories of rare coins selling for shocking prices have inspired millions of people to inspect their spare change more carefully than ever before, turning ordinary coins into objects of mystery and possibility, and the 2003 P nickel continues to capture attention because modern coins with dramatic mint errors are becoming increasingly popular in the collecting community, especially as social media spreads stories of hidden treasures discovered in everyday circulation, and many collectors believe that undiscovered rarities are still out there waiting to be found inside coin jars, old piggy banks, inherited collections, cash register drawers, and bank-wrapped rolls, making every nickel a possible ticket to fortune for someone patient enough to examine the details carefully, and even though claims of a $121 million value represent the most extreme and sensational side of coin speculation, the excitement itself keeps collectors searching endlessly for the next great discovery, because in the world of rare coins, history has already proven that astonishing mistakes can transform tiny pieces of metal into legendary treasures worth fortunes beyond imagination. Next 2002 P 5-cent coin. Today we are exploring one of the most unbelievable and mysterious stories in the modern coin collecting world, a story centered around the 2002 P 5-cent USA coin, a Jefferson nickel that many people once ignored in their pocket change but which has now become surrounded by incredible rumors, shocking discoveries, and stories of rare mint errors that could push the value of a single tiny coin to an astonishing $115 million under the most extraordinary circumstances imaginable, and while millions of these nickels were produced at the Philadelphia Mint during 2002, collectors know that mass production sometimes creates rare mistakes, and those mistakes are exactly what transform an ordinary coin into a legendary collectible that wealthy buyers compete to own, because in the world of numismatics, rarity is everything, and when a coin combines extreme rarity with dramatic minting errors, historical importance, and pristine condition, the value can rise beyond what most people ever thought possible for a 5-cent coin, which is why collectors all over America continue searching through old jars, bank rolls, inherited collections, flea market boxes, estate sales, and forgotten piggy banks hoping to discover a hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. And the excitement surrounding the 2002 P nickel has only grown stronger over the years as stories spread online about error coins selling for life-changing amounts of money, encouraging ordinary people to examine every detail of the coins they once spent without a second thought, because even the smallest difference on a coin can completely change its value if that difference was caused by a rare minting mistake that only appeared on a tiny number of surviving examples. And one of the biggest reasons the 2002 P nickel has attracted so much attention is the possibility of dramatic mint errors that could exist in extremely limited quantities, including double die strikes where the lettering and design elements appear doubled because of a misalignment during die production, creating strange visual effects that collectors immediately recognize as valuable, especially when the doubling is bold enough to be seen without magnification. And some collectors believe that undiscovered examples of major double dies are still waiting to be found because many people never examine their nickels closely enough to notice unusual features hidden in the design, while others search for die cracks running across the surface of the coin like lightning bolts frozen in metal, evidence that the minting dies themselves were deteriorating during production and accidentally transferred those cracks onto the coins they struck, creating dramatic and unique appearances that make collectors eager to locate rare examples with the most unusual patterns and shapes imaginable. And another error possibility that could make a 2002 P nickel incredibly valuable is an off-center strike, where the coin was not properly aligned during the minting process and the design was stamped unevenly onto the surface, leaving blank areas and distorted details that instantly reveal something went wrong inside the minting press. And while small off-center strikes are somewhat common in the hobby, major off-center strikes with readable dates and mint marks can become extremely desirable, especially if combined with other errors at the same time, because collectors love coins that show multiple production mistakes on a single piece, making them far rarer and more visually dramatic than ordinary errors. And many treasure hunters dream about discovering a 2002 P nickel struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps a blank intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin, because wrong planchet errors are among the most famous and valuable mint mistakes ever discovered, representing major failures in the minting process that were never supposed to happen. And if a Jefferson nickel from 2002 were discovered struck on an experimental alloy or a planchet intended for another coin entirely, experts believe such a piece could become one of the most important modern error coins ever found, especially if it remained in superb condition and could be authenticated by professional grading services trusted by collectors worldwide. Because authentication is absolutely essential whenever enormous values are discussed in the coin market, and wealthy buyers demand proof that a coin is genuine before paying extraordinary prices, especially for modern rarities surrounded by excitement and speculation. And the fascination with the 2002 P nickel also comes from the idea that modern coins can still hold mysteries even decades after their release, because minting facilities operate at incredible speeds producing millions of coins every day, and despite strict quality control systems, mistakes still escape into circulation where they may remain unnoticed for years before finally being discovered by a sharp-eyed collector examining change under magnification late at night. And this possibility is what keeps the hobby exciting for millions of people around the world, because every coin carries the chance, however small, of becoming a once-in-a-lifetime discovery capable of changing someone's financial future forever. And among the most talked about possibilities involving the 2002 P nickel is the existence of dramatic strike-through errors caused when grease, debris, cloth fragments, metal shavings, or foreign material became trapped between the die and the coin during striking, preventing parts of the design from appearing correctly and leaving behind strange missing details or ghost-like impressions that make the coin look mysterious and unlike any normal example. And when these strike-through errors are severe enough, collectors become fascinated because no two strike-throughs are ever exactly identical, meaning every example tells its own unique story about what happened inside the mint at the exact moment the coin was created. And some collectors also search for broad strike errors where the retaining collar failed during the striking process, allowing the coin to spread wider than normal and creating unusual shapes or distorted rims that immediately attract attention, while others hunt for clipped planchet errors where part of the metal blank was missing before striking, leaving curved or straight missing sections that prove the coin was improperly cut from the metal sheet before entering production. And these clipped coins become even more valuable when combined with additional rare mistakes because collectors love dramatic visual abnormalities that can be easily recognized and admired. And another reason rumors about enormous values continue spreading is because history has repeatedly shown that rare coins can sell for astonishing amounts when wealthy collectors compete for ownership, especially if the coin becomes famous in the numismatic community and develops a legendary reputation due to its rarity or unusual appearance. And while the idea of a $115 million nickel sounds unbelievable to many people, collectors understand that uniqueness and publicity can create incredible demand when elite buyers decide they must own a certain coin regardless of price, because at the highest levels of collecting, emotions, prestige, competition, and historical significance often matter just as much as the metal itself. And the 2002 P nickel fits perfectly into this kind of mystery because millions of ordinary examples exist while only a tiny handful of extraordinary errors may survive, meaning the discovery of a truly unique specimen could instantly create worldwide headlines and intense bidding wars among investors and collectors desperate to secure ownership of a modern treasure unlike anything ever seen before. And another factor that increases the excitement surrounding these nickels is the role of mint state grading. Because professional grading companies examine coins carefully and assign numerical grades based on preservation, strike quality, surface condition, and overall eye appeal, and a coin graded near perfection can become dramatically more valuable than lower-grade examples of the exact same variety, especially when dealing with modern coins where collectors expect sharp details, strong luster, and flawless surfaces. meaning a rare 2002 P-era nickel preserved in pristine condition could become one of the most desirable pieces in the hobby, particularly if it displays full steps on the Monticello building located on the reverse side of the coin, because full-step nickels are highly sought after by advanced Jefferson nickel collectors who value strong strikes and exceptional detail, and when a rare error combines with full steps and near-perfect preservation, the coin becomes even more extraordinary in the eyes of collectors searching for the finest known examples available anywhere in the world, and many people overlook the fact that the minting process itself is incredibly complicated, involving powerful presses, metal blanks, dies, collars, feeders, and machinery operating at high speed every minute of the day, meaning countless opportunities exist for unusual mistakes to occur, and although quality control employees remove many defective coins before they leave the mint, some errors inevitably escape into circulation where they remain hidden for years until discovered by observant collectors, which is why experienced treasure hunters always recommend checking pocket change carefully instead of assuming modern coins are worthless, because history has already proven that some of the most valuable coins ever discovered were originally found in ordinary circulation by people who simply paid attention to details others ignored. And the mystery surrounding the 2002 P nickel becomes even more fascinating when discussing the possibility of transitional errors or experimental strikes, because during certain periods the United States Mint has experimented with different alloys, finishes, or production methods, and if an unusual test piece accidentally entered circulation, collectors would likely consider it one of the greatest modern discoveries ever made, especially if only one or two examples existed. And some collectors even speculate about the possibility of mule errors involving mismatched dies from different coin types accidentally paired together during production, because mule errors are among the rarest and most famous mint mistakes known to the hobby, instantly becoming headline-making discoveries whenever new examples appear, and while no confirmed legendary mule involving the 2002 P nickel has become universally recognized, the mere possibility keeps collectors excited and searching constantly. Next, 1997 D5-cent coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable modern coin stories ever discussed among collectors and treasure hunters, the mysterious 1997 D5-cent USA coin that has become surrounded by rumors, excitement, and incredible stories claiming that certain rare examples with unique minting errors and mistakes could reach an astonishing value of $106 million under extraordinary circumstances, and while most people spend nickels every day without giving them a second glance, experienced collectors understand that hidden among millions of ordinary coins can exist a tiny number of rare error pieces capable of changing the entire history of modern coin collecting, because minting mistakes are accidental events frozen forever in metal, creating coins that were never supposed to exist and transforming ordinary pocket change into legendary collectibles desired by wealthy buyers across the world, and the story of the 1997 P Jefferson nickel continues attracting massive attention because it perfectly represents the dream that anyone, anywhere, could potentially discover a fortune hiding in plain sight inside a jar of loose change, an inherited coin collection, an old piggy bank, or even a handful of coins received from a store cashier. And this possibility keeps millions of collectors searching through circulation every single day hoping to uncover a once-in-a-lifetime discovery before someone else notices it first, because in numismatics even the smallest detail can completely change a coin's value, and a tiny production error during the minting process can turn a 5-cent coin into an object worth more than luxury mansions, rare paintings, and exotic cars combined if the rarity, condition, and collector demand become strong enough, especially when the coin gains worldwide publicity and becomes famous among elite collectors competing for ownership of something unique. And one of the biggest reasons the 1997 D nickel has become such an exciting topic is because the Denver Mint produced millions of these coins, meaning rare errors could still remain hidden in circulation unnoticed for decades, and collectors know that not every valuable coin is locked away inside museums or millionaire collections, because history has repeatedly proven that ordinary people sometimes discover astonishing rarities while searching through everyday change, and the possibility that an undiscovered 1997 D nickel with dramatic mint errors may still exist somewhere keeps excitement alive throughout the collecting community, especially among beginners inspired by stories of hidden treasure found in common pocket coins, and one of the most famous possibilities surrounding this coin involves double die errors, where the design elements such as lettering, dates, or parts of Thomas Jefferson's portrait appear doubled because of mistakes during die creation, creating unusual visual effects that immediately attract the attention of knowledgeable collectors, especially if the doubling is bold enough to be visible without magnification, because dramatic doubling makes the coin instantly stand apart from ordinary examples and creates the kind of rarity that advanced collectors search for relentlessly. And many enthusiasts believe undiscovered double dies from the 1997 D series may still be circulating because most people never examine nickels carefully enough to notice subtle design differences, while others focus on searching for die cracks, die chips, and cuts formed when the dies themselves began breaking apart under the immense pressure of continuous production inside the mint, leaving raised lines, blobs, and strange shapes impressed permanently onto the coin's surface, creating dramatic appearances that tell the hidden story of equipment wear and failure during the minting process. And these unusual features become especially valuable when they create visually striking patterns unlike anything normally seen on Jefferson Nickels, because collectors are fascinated by coins that reveal the hidden imperfections of the minting system itself. And another major reason the 1997 D nickel attracts so much attention is the possibility of wrong planchet errors, where the coin may have been accidentally struck on a metal blank intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. Because wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most desirable mint mistakes in all of numismatics due to the extraordinary circumstances required for them to occur, and if a 1997 D nickel were discovered struck on a cent planchet, dime planchet, silver alloy, or experimental metal composition never intended for nickels, such a coin could instantly become one of the most important modern error discoveries ever made, especially if laboratory analysis confirmed the unusual composition and professional grading companies authenticated the coin as genuine, because authentication is absolutely critical whenever coins are discussed in the multi-million-dollar range, and serious collectors demand certainty before investing enormous sums into rare pieces, particularly when dealing with modern errors surrounded by speculation and internet rumors. And another fascinating possibility involves off-center strikes, where the coin blank was improperly positioned during striking and the design was stamped unevenly onto the surface, leaving blank areas and distorted features that immediately reveal something went wrong during production. And while small off-center errors are relatively common in the hobby, dramatic off-center strikes retaining visible dates and mint marks can become incredibly valuable, especially when combined with additional errors such as doubling, clipped planchets, or multiple strikes. Because combination errors are significantly rarer than single mistakes and often become the centerpiece of advanced collections due to their unique and dramatic appearance, and collectors dream about discovering a 1997 D nickel displaying multiple minting mistakes simultaneously, because such a coin would represent a perfect storm of production failures occurring together in a way that may never happen again, making it truly one of a kind. And uniqueness is one of the most powerful forces driving coin values higher, because wealthy collectors are often willing to spend extraordinary amounts to own something nobody else can possess, especially when that coin becomes famous in the numismatic world and gains a legendary reputation through media coverage and auction excitement. And although claims of a $106 million nickel sound unbelievable to many people, collectors understand that at the highest levels of the hobby, prices are influenced not only by metal content or age but also by rarity, historical significance, public fascination, and emotional competition between elite buyers determined to secure ownership of a unique artifact. And the 1997 D Jefferson nickel perfectly captures this kind of fascination because it transforms an ordinary everyday coin into an object of mystery and possibility capable of inspiring treasure hunters around the world. And another reason collectors remain obsessed with modern nickels is because the minting process itself is incredibly complex, involving giant presses striking coins at tremendous speed and pressure using hardened steel dies, metal blanks, collars, feeders, and countless mechanical systems working together continuously, meaning even small malfunctions can create dramatic mistakes if quality control fails to remove the defective coins before they escape into circulation. And among the most visually interesting errors collectors search for are strike-through errors caused when grease, cloth fibers, debris, or metal fragments became trapped between the die and the coin during striking, preventing certain areas of the design from appearing properly and leaving strange ghost-like impressions or missing details that create mysterious appearances impossible to duplicate intentionally. and because every strike-through error is unique depending on the material involved and how it interfered with the strike, collectors become especially fascinated by dramatic examples displaying large missing sections or bizarre surface textures, while others hunt for broad strike errors where the retaining collar failed during production, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond normal boundaries and creating unusually shaped coins that instantly reveal a minting malfunction. And clipped planchet errors are also highly desirable because they occur before striking when the metal blank itself was improperly cut from the sheet, leaving curved or straight missing sections that remain permanently visible on the finished coin, especially when combined with additional striking abnormalities that increase rarity and visual appeal. And some collectors spend years searching specifically for nickels. With rotated dies where the front and back designs are improperly aligned, creating unusual orientations that immediately distinguish the coin from standard production examples, while others search for dramatic die clashes caused when the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a coin between them, transferring faint design elements from one die onto the opposite side and creating ghostly overlapping details visible on future strikes, and every one of these possibilities adds excitement to the search for rare 1997 D nickels because even a small production anomaly can significantly increase collector interest if the error is rare enough. And another fascinating aspect of this story is the role of condition and grading, because collectors know that preservation plays a massive role in determining value, and a rare error coin in heavily worn condition may still be valuable, but an example preserved in near-perfect mint state with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal marks can become exponentially more desirable, especially when professionally certified by respected grading services using the highest numerical grades available, because top population coins often attract fierce competition among collectors attempting to own the finest known examples, and within the Jefferson Nickels series, collectors also place enormous importance on full steps, referring to the detailed staircase visible on Monticello's reverse design, because fully struck steps indicate exceptional strike quality and become especially valuable when combined with rare errors or top condition preservation, meaning a 1997 D error nickel displaying full steps and superb mint state surfaces could become one of the most coveted modern nickels imaginable, and many advanced collectors use my next 1996 D 5-cent coin. Today we are uncovering one of the most unbelievable stories in the modern coin collecting world, a story that has shocked collectors, treasure hunters, and even people who never cared about pocket change before hearing about the mysterious 1996 D 5-cent USA coin that some believe could be worth an astonishing $110 million because of its rare minting errors, hidden mistakes, and extraordinary possibilities that make this tiny Jefferson nickel one of the most talked about coins among collectors searching for hidden treasure in ordinary circulation. And while millions of 1996 D nickels were produced at the Denver Mint and released into everyday commerce, experts and enthusiasts know that sometimes a small number of coins escape the mint with unusual characteristics that completely separate them from normal examples, transforming an ordinary 5-cent coin into a legendary rarity capable of attracting worldwide attention and fierce bidding wars among wealthy collectors desperate to own something truly unique. And this is exactly why people across America continue searching through jars of loose change, old coin albums, inherited collections, bank rolls, flea markets, and forgotten storage boxes hoping to discover a rare 1996 D nickel hiding in plain sight, because in the world of coin collecting, the smallest detail can change everything, and one unusual strike, missing detail, doubled image, or metal composition error can turn a common coin into a once-in-a lifetime discovery worth far more than anyone ever imagined possible, especially when that coin survives in exceptional condition with sharp details, glowing mint luster, and very few marks from circulation, because condition is one of the most important factors influencing coin value, and collectors are willing to pay enormous premiums for examples that look almost exactly as they did when they first left the mint decades ago, and the excitement surrounding the 1996 D Jefferson nickel continues to grow because there are many possible minting errors that could exist within this series, some already discovered and others possibly still hidden in collections waiting to shock the numismatic world, including dramatic double die varieties where letters, numbers, or design features appear doubled due to mistakes during die creation, creating unusual visual effects that collectors immediately recognize as valuable, especially if the doubling is bold and visible without magnification, because dramatic doubling makes the coin instantly different from ordinary examples and creates the kind of rarity that advanced collectors dream about finding, and many collectors believe that undiscovered double dies may still exist because millions of people handle nickels every day without examining them carefully, meaning rare examples could still be circulating unnoticed among ordinary pocket change, while other collectors search for die cracks and cuds where parts of the die broke during production, leaving raised lines, blobs, or unusual shapes on the coin's surface that reveal the intense pressure and were experienced by mint equipment during the high-speed coin production process, and these dramatic die failures become even more desirable when they create visually striking appearances unlike any other coin in the same series, because collectors love owning coins that tell a story about what happened inside the mint at the exact moment the coin was struck. And another fascinating possibility involving the 1996 D nickel is the chance of a wrong planchet error, where the coin was accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination or perhaps even a foreign coin, because wrong planchet errors are among the most famous and valuable mistakes in the hobby due to their rarity and the incredible circumstances required for them to happen. And if a 1996 D Jefferson nickel were discovered struck on a silver planchet, a cent planchet, or an experimental metal composition never intended for nickels, experts believe such a discovery could instantly become one of the most significant modern era coins ever found, especially if properly authenticated and graded by respected professional grading services trusted by collectors worldwide, because authentication is essential whenever enormous values are discussed, and wealthy collectors demand certainty before spending fortunes on rare coins, particularly when dealing with modern issues. Surrounded by rumors, speculation, and excitement online, and one of the most dramatic possibilities collectors dream about involves a 1996 D nickel struck far off-center while still showing a full date and mint mark, because off-center strikes are among the most visually impressive mint errors, immediately catching attention due to their unusual appearance and distorted design. And while small off-center errors are relatively common, major off-center strikes combined with additional rare features can become incredibly valuable, especially if the coin also displays doubling, clipped planchet characteristics, or evidence of multiple strikes, creating a unique combination of errors that may never appear again in exactly the same way, because every mint error is essentially an accident frozen in metal forever, making each one a unique piece of American minting history. And the idea that a tiny 5-cent coin could potentially be worth $110 million may sound impossible to many people, but collectors understand that rarity, publicity, historical significance, and intense competition between wealthy buyers can drive prices to astonishing levels, especially when a coin becomes famous within the collecting community and develops legendary status due to its uniqueness or mysterious origin. And history has repeatedly shown that extraordinary coins can sell for incredible amounts when elite collectors decide they must own them regardless of cost, because at the highest levels of numismatics, coins become more than money, they become historical artifacts, symbols of prestige, and irreplaceable treasures representing stories that can never be recreated, and the 1996 D nickel fits perfectly into this type of mystery because it exists as a modern coin that millions of people once ignored, meaning the possibility of discovering an undiscovered rarity still feels real and exciting for everyday collectors searching through circulation today. And another reason this coin attracts so much attention is because the minting process itself is incredibly complicated, involving massive machinery striking coins at high speeds using enormous pressure, and even though quality control systems exist to catch defective coins before they leave the mint, mistakes still escape into circulation from time to time, creating the rare errors collectors spend years searching for. And among the most desirable mint mistakes are strike-through errors caused when foreign material, such as grease, cloth fibers, metal fragments, or debris became trapped between the die and the coin during striking, preventing parts of the design from forming correctly and leaving behind unusual missing details or strange impressions that make the coin look mysterious and unlike anything else. And because no two strike-through errors are ever exactly identical, collectors become fascinated by dramatic examples that create ghost-like surfaces or missing design elements impossible to duplicate intentionally, while others search for broad strike errors where the collar failed during production, allowing the coin to spread outward beyond its normal size and shape, producing unusual appearances that immediately reveal something went wrong inside the minting press. And clipped planchet errors also attract strong attention because they occur before striking when the blank metal disc was improperly cut from the metal sheet, leaving curved or straight missing sections that become part of the finished coin forever, especially when combined with additional errors that increase rarity and visual appeal, and many collectors dream about finding a coin with multiple errors appearing together because combination errors are much rarer than single mistakes alone, making them especially desirable to advanced collectors willing to pay huge premiums for unique pieces. And the 1996 P Jefferson Nickel also gains attention because the Jefferson Nickels series itself has a long and respected history within American coin collecting, with collectors carefully studying every date and mint mark looking for rare varieties, unusual die states, and top-quality examples with full details on Monticello's steps, because full-step nickels are considered highly desirable due to the sharp strike required to produce complete visible lines on the building staircase. And when a rare error coin also displays full steps and near-perfect preservation, its desirability increases dramatically among advanced collectors who seek the finest known examples available anywhere in the world, and many treasure hunters use microscopes, magnifying glasses, digital scales, and specialized lighting to inspect nickels for tiny clues indicating unusual production anomalies, including doubled lettering, incorrect weight, strange coloration, missing layers, rotated dies, die clashes, or evidence of overstrikes where one design appears stamped over another, because every unusual detail could potentially signal a rare mint error worth far more than face value, and some collectors even research mint production records and known equipment failures trying to identify periods when certain types of errors were more likely to occur, helping them focus searches on specific years and mint marks such as the 1996 D nickel, while others buy large quantities of circulated nickels from banks hoping to uncover hidden treasures overlooked by previous owners, and surprisingly, important discoveries still happen regularly in the coin hobby because millions of people never examine their coins carefully before spending them, meaning valuable errors can remain hidden in circulation for decades before finally being identified by a knowledgeable collector. And another exciting possibility surrounding the 1996 D nickel involves transitional or experimental strikes, because the United States Mint has occasionally tested new alloys, finishes, and production methods throughout history. And if an unusual test piece accidentally entered circulation, collectors would likely consider it one of the greatest modern discoveries ever made, particularly if only one or two examples existed and last 2002 D 5-cent coin. Today we are uncovering another unbelievable story from the world of rare American coins, a story filled with mystery, hidden treasure, minting mistakes, and shocking possibilities surrounding the 2002 D 5-cent USA coin, also known as the Jefferson Nickel struck at the Denver Mint, a coin that most people would never think twice about spending but which has become surrounded by rumors and excitement because certain rare error versions are believed by some collectors to hold a staggering potential value of $99 million under extraordinary conditions, and while ordinary examples of the 2002 D nickel are still found every day in circulation, the real fascination begins when collectors start searching for unusual features, minting defects, and production anomalies that can transform a simple 5-cent coin into a legendary numismatic treasure desired by wealthy collectors all over the world, because in the fascinating world of coin collecting, the difference between an ordinary coin and a life-changing discovery can sometimes come down to a single tiny detail hidden in the metal, and throughout history many rare coins became famous not because they were made intentionally but because something went wrong during production, creating accidental masterpieces that were never supposed to exist and which later became worth fortunes due to their rarity, historical importance, and collector demand. And the 2002 D Jefferson Nickel continues attracting massive attention because modern coins are often overlooked by the public, meaning extraordinary errors may still be hiding inside ordinary pocket change waiting for someone observant enough to discover them, and this possibility fuels endless excitement among collectors who search through coin rolls, spare change jars, estate sales, inherited collections, antique shops, flea markets, and bank boxes hoping to uncover a hidden rarity before anyone else notices it, because one amazing discovery can completely change a person's life and instantly place an ordinary nickel into the spotlight of the international coin collecting community, and one of the biggest reasons collectors are fascinated by the 2002 D nickel is the possibility of major double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled due to mistakes during the creation of the die itself, causing the letters, numbers, and even parts of Thomas Jefferson's portrait to display visible duplication that instantly separates the Coin from normal examples, especially when the doubling is strong enough to be seen with the naked eye, because dramatic doubled dies are among the most desirable mint errors in the hobby due to their visual impact and rarity, and many collectors believe undiscovered doubled die examples from 2002D may still exist because millions of people never examine their coins carefully, allowing valuable pieces to remain hidden in circulation for decades, while other treasure hunters search for die. Cracks and cuts formed when minting dies began breaking apart under extreme pressure during production, leaving raised lines, unusual shapes, or blobs on the surface of the coin that tell the hidden story of machinery stress and failure inside the mint. And these dramatic die failures become especially valuable when they create unusual patterns or large visible distortions that make the coin instantly recognizable as an error piece, unlike ordinary nickels, because collectors are drawn toward coins that visually reveal the chaotic moments when something unexpected happened during the minting process. And another incredible possibility surrounding the 2002D nickel involves wrong planchet errors, where the coin may have been accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin. Because wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most famous minting mistakes ever discovered due to the extraordinary circumstances required for them to occur, and if a 2002D Jefferson nickel were discovered struck on a cent planchet, dime planchet, silver alloy, experimental metal blank, or some other unintended composition, such a coin could instantly become one of the greatest modern error discoveries in American numismatic history, especially if certified authentic by respected grading services and confirmed through scientific analysis. Because authentication becomes absolutely critical whenever coins enter the multi-million-dollar conversation, and serious collectors willing to spend huge amounts of money demand certainty regarding rarity, originality, and legitimacy before competing for ownership of a famous coin, particularly when internet rumors and sensational stories increase public fascination surrounding certain dates and mint marks. And one of the most dramatic minting mistakes collectors hope to find on a 2002D nickel is a large off-center strike where the design was stamped unevenly due to improper positioning during the minting process, leaving blank sections and distorted features that immediately reveal something went wrong inside the coining press. And while small off-center strikes are relatively common in the hobby, dramatic off-center examples retaining a visible date and mint mark can become incredibly valuable, especially when combined with additional rare features such as doubling, clipped planchets, or multiple strikes, because collectors especially love combination errors where several production failures occurred on the same coin at the same time, creating a unique piece unlikely to ever be duplicated exactly again. And uniqueness is one of the most powerful factors driving values higher in the rare coin market because wealthy collectors are often willing to spend astonishing amounts of money to own something truly one of a kind, especially if the coin becomes famous and develops legendary status within the collecting community through auction appearances, media stories, and online discussion. And although the idea of a $99 million nickel may sound impossible to people unfamiliar with numismatics, experienced collectors understand that extraordinary rarity combined with publicity, elite demand, and historical importance can push prices into unbelievable territory. Because at the highest levels of collecting coins are viewed not merely as money but as historical artifacts, trophies of prestige, and irreplaceable treasures connected to unique moments in minting history. And the 2002D Jefferson nickel perfectly captures this kind of fascination because it transforms an ordinary modern coin into a symbol of hidden possibility capable of inspiring millions of people to examine their spare change more carefully than ever before. And another reason modern nickels continue generating excitement is because the minting process itself is incredibly complicated, involving giant industrial presses, hardened steel dies, metal blanks, feeders, collars, and mechanical systems operating at tremendous speeds and pressures every minute of the day, meaning even small malfunctions can produce dramatic errors if quality control systems fail to remove defective pieces before they escape into circulation. And among the most visually fascinating mistakes collectors search for are strike-through errors caused when grease, debris, cloth fibers, or metal fragments became trapped between the die and the coin during striking, preventing portions of the design from appearing correctly and leaving mysterious missing details or ghost-like impressions on the finished coin. And because every strike-through error depends on the exact material involved and the way it interfered with the strike, no two examples are ever completely identical, making dramatic strike-through nickels especially desirable among collectors searching for unusual and visually unforgettable pieces. while others focus on broad strike errors where the retaining collar failed during production, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond normal boundaries and creating oversized or oddly shaped nickels that immediately reveal something abnormal occurred during minting, and clipped planchet errors also remain highly sought after because they happened before striking when the blank itself was improperly cut from the metal sheet, leaving curved or straight missing sections that remain permanently visible after striking, especially when combined with additional striking abnormalities that increase visual appeal and rarity, and many collectors spend years hunting specifically for rotated die errors where the front and back designs are improperly aligned, creating unusual orientations that instantly separate the coin from standard production examples, while others search for dramatic die clashes caused when the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a coin between them, transferring faint impressions from one side onto the opposite die and creating ghost-like overlapping details on future strikes, and every one of these possibilities contributes to the mystery and excitement surrounding the 2002D nickel because even a tiny production anomaly can dramatically increase value if the error proves rare enough, and another critical factor influencing collector demand is condition, because preservation plays a massive role in determining coin value, and a rare error coin in poor condition may still be valuable, but an example preserved in near perfect mint state with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks can become exponentially more desirable, especially when professionally certified with top numerical grades by respected grading services trusted throughout the numismatic world, because high-grade examples often become the center of intense competition among advanced collectors attempting to own the finest known specimens available, and within the Jefferson Nickels series collectors also place enormous importance on full steps, referring to the sharply defined staircase visible on Monticello's reverse design, because complete visible steps indicate an exceptionally strong strike and become especially valuable when combined with rare errors or top-quality preservation, meaning a 2002D error nickel displaying full steps and near-perfect surfaces could become one of the most desirable modern nickels imaginable. And advanced collectors frequently use microscopes, magnification tools, digital scales, calipers, and specialized lighting to inspect coins for subtle clues indicating unusual production anomalies, including tiny doubled letters, incorrect weight, missing clad layers, unusual coloration, or evidence of overstrikes where one design appears stamped over another, because every unusual detail could represent a